Hey, what's up you guys? So I want to make this video today about warm-ups. I made one last week about the mental benefits, but I wanted to actually go into an actual warm-up sequence so you can see what it looks like, show you my own personal one, and also talk about the type of stretches that you should be considering doing in your warm-ups. So I didn't record this part of it, but this is what I actually do first off. I use a foam roller and I use it all over my body, and it's really great for breaking up the knots in your body. It's kind of like a deep tissue massage, and I highly recommend using it. You can use this before, after, even on days when you're not at the gym. I own one. They're only like 25 bucks. I really recommend them. They're really great to getting rid of the knots that may have built up in your body. So this is a foam roller. Like I said, I actually do it at the very beginning of my workouts. During the warm-up, I just didn't record it. But if you want me to do a recording of that, show you some examples of how I use it, just let me know. I'd be happy to make it. So I did record my warm-ups, which I'll go ahead and post up here in a second. I do want to say though that this is my warm-up that I do for my body, for my issues. It's not necessarily going to be the best warm-up for everyone, but just to give you an example, these are what I do to prepare myself for my lifting, and you'll want to find what's going to work best for you. So hopefully I'll have it right here going while I'm talking, and I'm just going to go over some of the type of stretching and warm-ups you want to do. So there's three main types. There's corrective, there's active, and then there's functional. So corrective, this is where we want to fix any abnormalities we have in our body. This is normally due to tight muscles, muscle imbalances, and guys, if you have muscle imbalances, it leads to bad posture. Bad posture leads to inefficient movement patterns, and then these inefficient movement patterns lead to injury. So we really want to work on these. This is key. Before you start going really heavy with lifting or getting too serious, you really want to try to fix any bad areas that you may have. So most people know about corrective stretching through static stretching, and that's where you get into a hold position and you hold that stretch for about 30 seconds or more. I save most of mine for the end of my workout during my cool down, during flexibility phase, but if you have really bad issues, you need to do them before your workouts. If you notice, I don't know where the video is at of me doing my stretches, but it should be showing me right now on one of those Swiss balls, and I'm just kind of laying out, hanging out on it, and I'm really just stretching out my back, and then there's a point when I kind of change it up where I'm stretching out my hips. These are two really bad spots for me. One, my hips, because if you live a sedentary lifestyle where you work all day and you're sitting, you probably should be doing something like this as well. Your hips get really tight from sitting at that 90-degree angle all day long. We weren't designed for sitting. So get those stretched out, and then I really need to work on my back simply because I have this bad shoulder. It made kind of threw off my whole balance of my back, just being overly tight. My back is really out of line because of it, so I do a little extra opening up my chest and bringing out my spine, like really getting a stretch going for that one. So that's why I'm doing that on the Swiss ball, just so you're aware. But in general, corrective stretching, you'll want to stretch out your tight muscles. You don't want to have imbalances, so it's really good to practice that static stretching stuff. You probably learned it in elementary school, or if you ever played sports in high school and stuff like that. You want to put yourself in a stretch position until it feels somewhat tight. It should hurt a tiny bit, not too much, and you'll hold it for about 30 seconds. After that, you go into active stretching. And this is where you're moving your body through ranges of motion, or moving your joints through ranges of motion. So this is when you see me doing like the arm circles and stuff like that. I'm really just starting to warm up my body, start making my joints move around, really getting them loose. And I'll go through a series of those. I don't really do them too much for my legs. No particular reason. I do it more so for my upper body, especially my shoulders. Because like I said, bad shoulder. I really need to work it, and that's why, like I said, this is just an example of what I do, not necessarily what you guys want to do. So I do a lot of active movements to start to get my body warmed up, get everything loose. Finally, I'll go through functional movements, and functional can also be known as dynamic movements, and basically what you're doing here is you're starting to move your body through the motions that you plan to do for your lifting. So for example, on leg day, going through these squat motions, deadlift motions, lunge motions, like really moving my body the way that I plan on moving it when I'm actually using weights. And so this is a great way not only to get your body warmed up, used to these movements, but also so that you can really work on your form. You can really pay close attention. You don't want to be working on your form. Well, let me rephrase that. You want to have good form when you go into your lifts. So if you can do these movements, excuse me, if you can do these movements without weight, this will be a lot better, a lot safer for you, so that when you do end up putting on the weights, you'll already be moving in the correct pattern. So I'll take this time to really focus on my form, find out if I'm tight in any areas, and fix it from there. So that's just a quick run through, guys. So once again, you got corrective, which you can do through static and using the foam roller. Two great ways to correct muscle imbalances. Then you'll want to go through some active motions, and this is really just to warm up the joints, move around, get yourself loose basically. And then you'll go through functional or dynamic, and that's where you start moving your body in the motions that you plan on doing in your lift, so that your body gets ready, gets acclimated, and you can also fix anything that you see wrong by doing these without weights. So that's it. Hopefully that helps you guys a little bit. If you have any questions, or if you want me to make a video on me doing foam rolling and go a little bit more into detail about that, let me know. Otherwise, peace.